it going? Welcome. Apologize, I'm just getting set up right here. Let me make sure my gimbal is all set and ready to rock. All right, welcome guys. Welcome to another Babymaker Q&A live. Apologize, we weren't able to get one out before the end of last week, so that's why I'm doing this one early now. I'm gonna give it about 1 to 2 minutes for people to begin coming in here. If it's your first time, if you look down in the bottom right corner, there will be a chat window. If you have a question that hasn't been answered on the FAQ page, go ahead and write it in there. I'm going to try and address as many as I can. But yeah, right now I'm just giving it another minute or two so people can join in, and then we should be good to go. Welcome guys. Hey Alex, hey Daniel, hey Felix, hey everybody, welcome. Hey David, yeah, thanks for the studio. We got a warehouse behind me. It's just gonna be me today. Sarah's currently working on another project, but we got some good news coming for you guys. Again, gonna give it about another minute here so people kind of trickle in. Hey Robert, hey Alan, can't wait to get started here. Welcome guys. Just gonna repeat myself and say, if this is your first time here and you have a question that wasn't answered in our Babymaker FAQ section, in the bottom right hand corner you'll see a little chat window and you can see people writing in, saying hi, hello. I'm gonna be looking at that for questions. I'm doing my best to hit all of them as quickly as I can with as much information as I can. There may be some that I skip over because someone's already asked that sort of thing. I'm just trying to hit as much as I can in the shortest time span as possible. But if you have some, let me know in that comment section, and we'll get this thing kicked off in about 30 seconds. So. All right, welcome guys. Give it another 30 seconds and I'll go ahead and kick it off here. All right, just so you know, if you see me looking down here, I got my computer screen set up with all your questions coming in. So I'm gonna try and address you directly here, but if you see my eyes wander, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure I hit all your guys' questions and concerns. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and begin this Q&A, October 13th, 2020. Let me start off before I even hit some of your questions. I want to go ahead and give you some cool little updates and announcements, which I think you guys will really appreciate. The first one is a question we've been getting asked fairly recently and fairly often. It's all of you members across the pond over there wondering about the Spain factory. As of about yesterday, 2 days ago, the containers that we had there cleared customs, and they will be moving into the factory. So within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we hope to have production running. That means the Spain factory will be building bikes, which means they will be shipping them out thereafter. Now, one thing to consider with the factory in Spain is that a lot of the components they're getting have already come pre-assembled. So our factory in Shanghai builds everything from scratch. from scratch. So that means for the frame itself, steel tubes of aluminum that are then cut, welded, put together, from the very base level. Now the factory in Spain, the process will be expedited for the production side, and that is because we are assembling a lot of stuff elsewhere and giving them full frames to put together, or full frames that are already put together, and a lot of other components that are built from scratch in Shanghai are coming completed. So the assembly process in Spain is going to be a little bit shorter. So right now I don't have any exact dates or anything, but I do know we had some stuff waiting there in customs. It has since cleared, so within the next few weeks we hope to start pushing out video from our Spain factory. That is update number one. Update number two is in regards to the LCD. If you've been following the Babymaker owners group on Facebook, you'll see that some people have been getting their bikes, and the LCD is different looking from what we posted on the Indiegogo page. Now, the reason for that is that the first, I want to say about 1,500 to 2,000 bikes, the form factor of the LCD is going to look like the previous model, but the firmware has been upgraded. So one of the stretch goals was that 28 miles per hour. Everybody, regardless of when you receive your bike, will be getting that. Now, the reason that the form factor is different on these first few are that we weren't able to get it updated in time to be put on all the bikes. So rather than delay production by about a month to 2 months, what we decided to do was use the older form factor of the old LCD screen, but upgrade the firmware and put it on your bikes. So if you're wondering, why it looks different, it's because we're using the old casing, but it's still the same smart technology that allows you to go 28 miles per hour. I know there's going to be more questions coming with that, but in the beginning, we said that we were going to do everything we could to get these bikes out as quick as possible, and for a simple LCD to delay the process a month, 2 months, we just couldn't do that. So even though the form factor is different, it's still got the upgraded firmware and all that fun stuff. Now, that brings me to update number 3, coming in hot. If any of you are on a silver Babymaker and you got one in the works, while the touring package for that is still going to have black fenders, we were able to get the silver cargo rack on the back. I know a lot of people had questions about that. It wasn't something that we thought we could do, but we put our heads down and we've really been working hard with our suppliers to see how much they can do for us. So that is another cool little update for you guys. If you got a touring package on a silver bike, that car is now going to be silver. And finally, my fourth update for you guys. We recently, as a company, merged our mail system into a brand new application that's incredibly streamlined, 10 times more efficient, and way easier to operate and navigate. So what does that mean? On our end, it means we're going to see your tickets quicker, sooner, and be able to categorize them, which means you'll not only get quicker responses, but you'll be able to get more detailed ones. What does that upgrade mean for you on your end? It means not only are you going to be able to search for certain questions and be prompted with an answer before you even reach any of us, but if you still aren't able to find that answer, we have a very streamlined system now where not only will we send you reminders if, hey, we're waiting to hear back from you or that sort of thing, but it's just overall a much smoother platform and going to be way better. So those are the 4 updates in that amount of time. In those 4.5, 5 minutes I've been talking, I haven't looked at any of these chats, so I'm sure they're buzzing with all kinds of questions, both on older information and the stuff I just gave you now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is transition into this little chat bubble window and try and get to as many of you guys as I can right now. Oh, wow. I'm scrolling through. You guys really were busy as I was talking. Okay. Quick sip of water. and we're all set. All right, Kristen says, just wanted to ask if buying another Babymaker, is it possible to ship them together? Unfortunately, it's not. We're doing our best to fulfill these bikes in the order that they were placed as best we can. So that is not an option. If you place one now, the delivery estimate that is on there is probably going to be when you're getting it, so we can't ship them together. But update number 5, I have a special guest. You guys didn't think this was coming. Check it out.
What's up, everybody? It's been a while. Haven't been on the lives in a minute here. Thanks, everybody, for sharing your pictures of your Babymakers, the ones that have arrived, and for everybody else, for your patience, especially. I know it's been a hell of a wait, and there is still some more waiting for a lot of folks out there, but the whole team, Ben here, Caitlin on supply chain, everybody overseas at the factories are working their butts off to build these bikes for you guys and to do a bang-up job on them. I hope you guys recognize that, and we really, really appreciate your patience once again. Thanks for running these lives, by the way, Ben.
No worries, man. As Rob said, we have people doing everything at all times of the day and night. We really are working as hard as we can to get you these bikes as soon as possible. But yeah, like Rob said, we appreciate your patience more than you guys know. So
totally. I'd love to stay in chat, guys, but I gotta get back to it. I'm just back from a little vacation in the woods. Finally had a few days off, the first time since
2 years. Honestly, yeah. I'm thinking about it. I've been here a little longer than that, and I haven't seen them ever take a vacation. That includes Saturdays and Sundays. Never been off.
So I've been quiet on Facebook and everything, but I'll be back in the swing of it in a few days here. Thanks again, guys. We'll chat to you soon.
All right. So that was Rob. For those of you who don't know, founder, owner. He's been the dude in the trenches since back in 2014 when this company was first brought to fruition. So Rob's been super busy with everything. Pete as well, the other founder. Pete works closely with the production side of things. So hopefully we'll be able to do one of these a little further down the road with everybody. But right now you got me, so let's get back into it. Someone asked, Robert asked, do we have any bikes going to Japan? Yes, we do. We have a couple dozen actually going to Japan as well as other Asian countries. So that is somewhere we are shipping bikes currently. Brian, I'm sorry, my sidekick couldn't make it as well. Marty asked in regards to the LCD, will the new screen be shipped at a later date? At this time, I can't say yes or no. Again, our priority right here is to get as many bikes out and in people's hands as possible. Because the current LCD we have works, we're going to keep focusing on fulfillment. Once that number goes down and, we have much less people waiting, that's when we're going to circle back for the LCD and that sort of thing. So I don't want to give you anything explicit now, but no, we are, we do have that on the back burner and we'll look into it. Krista asks kind of the same question, then will the new LCD be something that we can put on the bike? Yes, if and when we do that, gonna be 5 to 6 months down the road. It should just be simple plug and play. Again, the only difference is the location of the buttons, right? The form factor, the actual shape of that LCD. All the technology, all the firmware upgrades have been put into that. The only thing that's different is that button location. So the important part of the upgrade was put in. It's simple button placement that is still going to be the original one. So if you haven't heard, that LCD screen is going to make the bike function, that you'll get that 28 miles per hour. It's just the form factor that's a little bit different. Steven asks, how many bikes are on a container? Roughly 175, give or take 20 to 30, lower or more. The reason that number kind of varies is that not only do we ship just bikes, but oftentimes we have to put extra components in with them, which take up space in the container, but roughly 175. So the Spain container itself, I don't have the actual manifest what's in it, but they will be producing all variants of the bike, whether it is 19, 23 inch, regardless of color, regardless of bar setup, regardless of pro, regardless of standard. Production is about to kick off there. I don't have anything specific, but no, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we hope to have some footage, some pictures, that sort of thing from the Spain factory to update you guys. So, while we're on this, those of you in like the EU or anyone who has a bike coming from Spain, I sort of touched on that. What I don't want to forget about is all you future riders we have in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, that sort of thing. What we're working on doing is grouping everyone, for Canada, for instance, grouping as many of you as we can into one shipment, one container, and then we'll be reaching out for you guys to confirm your addresses and that sort of thing. The reason we're doing that is if we were to reach out individually and say, hey, your bike's coming, the shipping charge on that would be through the roof. So we're actually going to take a hit on our end. We're going to put everything in one group rather than pass along the extra shipping cost to you guys. We'll put everything together. No specifics on that yet, but it is in the works. We have not forgot about you guys. I will update you as soon as I know more. King Chan asks, is the LCD display on the Babymaker water resistant? Yes. If you live in a rainy climate, Seattle or, anywhere really that has moisture, those components are water resistant. One of the first videos we actually made was we had rain here in San Diego, which is very rare occurrence. So Rob was sure to take advantage of that. We have a video on our YouTube page of him actually riding the Babymaker. I believe he put close to 15 miles on it in a torrential downpour. Not sprinkling, not sort of raining, like putting the bike outside. He was instantly soaking wet in about 5 seconds. So if you're more interested in the water resistance of the Babymaker, or just want to see some cool footage of him riding around with his GoPro, we have that on our site, on our YouTube page. I'm sorry. Oh, I tried to scroll and I just jumped down 5 pages. Hang on, guys. I'm going to try and come back to where we're at. Thanks. Shipping. So we've gotten this question too. Is shipping happening in the same order as the bikes were purchased? Yes. Now, that is going to vary, with by a couple hundred based on your order quantity. And the reason for that is while we're still doing our best to fulfill them in the order that we replaced, it does not make sense as far as efficiencies are concerned to produce them in the exact order. And the reason behind that is it doesn't make sense to send, 6 different color frames to be painted to get painted. It makes more sense to do, let's get a group of 40 orange. Boom, we have all those frames. 40 uppers. Boom, let's get them all knocked out. And what we do is we pull from that list. So if you guys have noticed, I think the first bikes that went out were all pros. They were all upper bullhorn, and they were all 23 inches. And the reason behind that is, like I said, it's not the exact order that they were purchased, what we're fulfilling, but it's as close to it as we can be while still remaining efficient. Give it 3 to 4 days. We're going to start seeing some 19-inch frames. You're going to start seeing some standard bikes going out as well. So while it's not the exact number, say you ordered your number's 500, someone with 850 may have gotten their bike, and the reason is that we're trying to group some together for efficiencies. Otherwise, this process would take a whole lot longer. There's a lot of questions about when will these ship. We've gotten a bunch of bikes out for that September deadline, but as you know, we are in a new month. So we are working. I have our logistics manager, right, as well as our logistics supply chain manager, as well as our customer service manager. We're working on putting together a timeline, not only for these U.S. deliveries, but for Europe, as well as Canada, New Zealand, and all those other countries. We hope to have that up within the week, so that you guys can go in there and actually see, where's my bike shipping, when did I place that order, and the about time frame we're on. Keep in mind, these may fluctuate. They may get sooner, they may get later. But like I've said in all these lives, our priority, guys, is getting you these bikes as quickly as possible, right? We don't want to do anything on our end that will delay this process in any way, shape, or form. We know how pumped you guys are, so just know that we are doing everything we can to move these as quickly as possible. But again, we hope to have sort of a timeline on our site relatively shortly. If you're just new here, you have a question, chat box in the bottom right. I'm trying to scroll through these, make sure I hit all the pertinent stuff and get to as many of you guys as I can. If you're here and you just joined, at the beginning of the live, I'll say this and I'll come back to it. I gave an update on the Spain factory, an update on the LCD, an update on the touring package for silver bikes, and an update on our custom platform. If you have questions about that or see people asking questions, I'm going to circle back to that at the very end and hit those all again. So if I skip over your question, know if it relates to one of those 4 topics, know that I'm going to circle back. So bear with me, guys. So someone asked for the Sterling rims. Are they sanded or powder coated? That's actually a really good question. We're hoping to get a silver Babymaker in the warehouse within the next 3 weeks-ish, around there. I believe they're sanded right now. I don't know that they're powder coated. One thing you can do is actually ask someone in that Babymaker owners group, someone who has a silver one. They can probably let you know, but I don't want to give anyone any false information. Hey, TJ, looks like you have a very specific question here about your Babymaker that you financed through Klarna. Please send us an email to support@flx.bike. With our new and upgraded system, we changed the email. If you guys at home need to reach out to us, support, SUPPORT@flx.bike. Is the new address to email. If you happen to reply to the older one or still use it, we have all that forwarding set up, but just get in the habit for specifics. Can't talk today. For specific questions like that, TJ, please send us an email to get you sorted out, because that's something that I would need to look into further. ROG, the seat post diameter is 30, or if you're looking to upgrade or swap it out, please use that measurement. Edwin, like I said, if you're 179, so don't have your bike, it may be that you just have one of those configurations that we're still looking to produce. Again, there may be fluctuations of several hundred. Like I said, you could be 500. Someone who has 750, 850 could get their bike first. But no, we're doing our best job that we can to get these bikes out in relatively the order they were purchased. Joan asks if the 19-inch will be high for your 26 inseam at 5 feet tall. I think so. At your height, you will be able to straddle the bike. That's for sure. It depends on your personal preference, whether you think that's the perfect fit. For example, Rob, who was just out here earlier, is 5'8". Now he likes the bigger frame. He could definitely drop down to the smaller 19-inch, but he prefers the 23-inch, and he's about the same proportions to the larger bike as you are to that smaller one. So that's going to be something you're going to want to see, but at 5 foot, you should still be able to get on it. Krishna asks, where is Sarah? Sarah's currently working on another project right now in regards to customer service. Like I said, we want to do these lives as often as possible, but we're also focused on fulfillment, guys. That is our number one attitude right now, is getting you these bikes as soon as possible. So Sarah's actually working on something else. Couldn't even spare 30 minutes to come with me. So I told her I'd take this one on my own, but she will be back for the next one, most likely. Oh, and my thing just skipped down to the bottom. Excuse me, guys, while I try and find my spot. Thank you guys for the kind words. We really appreciate that. We're working on distributors for Australia, New Zealand, Canada. So bear with us. We appreciate your patience. I'm going to circle back to that at the end of the video, making myself a little note of things to cover at the end. Mrs. Sylvia asks what the discrepancy is about the two different types of motors. The way it's going to work is we're going to send you a motor that's compliant for your region. Now, with that being said, because the LCD the firmware has been upgraded, you will be able to go in and get that 28 mile per hour top speed that you want. Now, here's the caveat. Keep in mind, if you're in one of those regions that has laws or regulations, and you increase that top speed to 28 and you're not allowed to, that falls on you, right? The ability to adjust that is for closed circuit and track use. That's my disclaimer. How you use the bike once you get it, totally up to you. Krishna, I'm so sorry. It's 5 a.m. your time, but you still made it on this chat. What I will do is try and get another one of these going in the morning. So if you are one of those people across the pond or wherever you may be at, I'll try and do the one, early on, maybe even later. I might stay. I practically live here, guys. Maybe I'll do one at 9 o'clock. I've been pulling late nights here, so for those of you in a different time zone, I'm gonna see what I can do to get this live either sooner or later to give you guys a chance. Know that if you don't make one, we still post these to our YouTube account. So if you do miss a live, the whole thing gets recorded and published anyways. The only thing is you won't be able to type in and get a live response. No news on touring packages, guys. I'm sorry. Right now, like I said, 100% focus is on getting you the bike. As soon as I hear something about those touring packages, I'll let you know. Marissa, you're asking if you can change the shipping address as you will be moving. Yes, that's something you can do. If you have anything specific like that, an address adjustment, again, support, SUPPORT, excuse me, at FLX.bike. Support at FLX.bike. Put in your order number, as well as, your name, and say, hey, I will be moving. I need to update my address. Here's the new address. We'll implement it and get you all set. All right, guys, just reading through some of your questions. If I seem to be skipping over yours, it's probably because I've addressed it at some point, and I'm going to circle back to it at the end. So keep in mind, if you just got in here, I'm not skipping over your stuff. I'm trying to cover everything at least once, and then I'll circle back to the most frequent questions. Yes, William, you're asking if September deliveries will go out in October. We're doing everything I can to make that happen. Obviously, that we've changed into a new month, but we're still going to do our best to fulfill in the order that it was placed. We will have some updated timelines coming out shortly, but again, your guys' patience is truly appreciated. Doug asked, the rims on the bike are not tubeless ready, so that is not something you can upgrade to at this point in time. Let me know if my audio is messed up. Someone said there might be vibrating. I have gotten a few text messages while we've been on this, but if my audio is consistently going out, please let me know, guys. So I'm looking to get a blue raspberry in the shop as soon as we can. That way I can show you guys real-time pictures. You know what it looks like and that sort of thing. As soon as we get one, we'll be sure to post that. In case it's software. So again, on the configuration of the motor, when you get your bike, it's set up to comply. You can make adjustments on the back end, but all that is on you. Again, for closed circuit track use, remember that. Guys, again, if you're waiting on a bike, have questions about when it will be delivered, we're putting up timelines. Those will be posted shortly, and we'll continue to update them throughout this process. It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock somewhere, Jason. You're absolutely right. Fortunately, I got a couple hours before then, but I'll probably be here after that anyways. 5 o'clock starts on the weekends for me, unfortunately. The 19 Sterlings. Someone's asked about the 19 Sterlings. Yes, like I mentioned before, most of the bikes that have currently been delivered were in the pro range of the larger 23-inch frames. We have more 19s coming, as well as standard models for those of you that have bought those as well. Like I said, these bikes aren't in the exact order they were placed, but as close to as we can, while still being able to produce them efficiently. Henry asked, will the hydraulic brakes need bleeding, and is the chain stretch a thing on the belt drive? So, two-part questions. I'll hit both of those real quick. Hydraulic brakes will need bleeding. Just like any standard bike, that is routine maintenance if you have hydraulic disc brakes. You have a car, you get your oil changed. If you have hydros, you bleed your brakes. That's just typical bike maintenance. They should be pretty good out the box, but you are going to want to check the sponginess. One little pro tip is when you do get your bike and you have the hydraulic disc brakes, give them a good pump, right? Because sometimes straight out the box, there will be a lot of travel, but if you pump up those hydros, you should be good. With that being said, brake bleeding is typical bike maintenance that you will need to perform. The second part of your question, the belt drive, the carbon gauge belt drive has no stretch. One of the cool things we did when we got these prototypes is we had that question. Will the belt drive hold up? Will it perform like Gates says it will? So we don't want to test it. Well, Pete put 3,500 kilometers on a single belt, rode all the way across Europe. So that was one test, but we wanted to take it a step further. We have this video on our YouTube page. We actually took the rubber belt, right, that's used on the Babymaker. We put it on a forklift, and we put it around the trailer hitch of Rob's van. We were able to use that belt to lift the van off the ground, right? And when we took it off, we compared it to an original belt. There was no stretch whatsoever. Gates rates these belts to, I think it's 18,000 miles, 19,000 miles. The exact number is on their site. But they're going to last 3 to 4 times as long as a standard chain. Not going to have any maintenance. It's really a nice system. No grease, no rusting. So if you're watching this and on the fence about the Pro or Standard, I totally recommend the Pro. So I hope I was able to answer your question there. Okay, guys, just scrolling through. Bear with me. Bear with me. Guys, thank you for all your patience. I see a lot of you, sending in kind words. We truly appreciate that. This whole thing has been an absolute adventure. Breaking Indiegogo's record, their 13-year history. We know we got a lot of work on our plates, and there's still a whole lot more to come. But no, ultimately, we're here for you guys through and through. So we appreciate those kind words. So the Indiegogo dates are likely to be are not going to change. Unfortunately, we don't have the flexibility to adjust those. So again, if you're wondering when your bike will ship, will be within a week or two. We will be posting those timelines on our site so you can see about when you ordered to about when it should come in. And that way we can keep you guys up to date as best we can. Australia and Canada, New Zealand. I'm not skipping over you guys. I will circle back. Doug asks, have any drop bar bikes? Yeah, so like I said, within the next week or two, you should see some new happy owners posting in the Babymaker owners group. The 19-inch frames you haven't seen, the drop bars you haven't seen, the standard configurations, all those are set to go out shortly. So we are producing all those. Don't think we're just doing the pros or anything like that. There will be some fluctuations in, in the order in which they come. But for the most part, if you were to follow a timeline, it's going to go from beginning to end, the fulfillment that way. So when we do these timelines, it's going to be by region. So domestically, United States will have one. The EU will have one. Canada will have one. New Zealand, and that sort of thing. Thank you guys again. Thank you for your kind words. Daniel says if his bike showed up in any color, he would gladly accept it. It's all about the bike, not the color. It's a great attitude. These things are so much fun. They could have no paint on them and they would still turn heads. It's a great looking bike, guys. I really can't wait for each and every one of you to get one. Guys, again, I'm trying as hard as he can to get you these bikes. Believe me, there's no benefit to us to holding on them or delaying this process. So we are working as hard as we can. Claude asks, does a motor regenerate electricity? No, it does not. That technology isn't exactly here with the bikes. And, speaking to the specific physics of it, it won't be an efficient system since in order to propel that bike down the hill, you're either using gravity to recharge, which will only be a marginal, recycled bit, or you'll be pedaling, which is taking your energy to put energy in the battery. The whole regen on bikes and skateboards, the technology is not there. In my personal opinion, it's almost a gimmick, because even with the best systems on the planet, you'll be able to see 2 to 3% regen on that battery. So no, the Babymakers do not come with it. Man, it feels like my voice is getting deeper as I'm talking. We've been going for about 40 minutes. I'm going to continue here, guys. If you have any questions, please put them in there. Again, I will circle back to Spain Factory LCDs, silver cargo racks, our new updated customer service system, and the timeline again. So I'll be hitting those shortly. William, you said your Indiegogo account says you haven't purchased anything. This is going to require some further investigation. So if you send an email to support@flx.bike, put your order number in there. We'll be able to look into this further and get back to you. That goes for anyone who has a specific question that I haven't covered that isn't posted on our FAQ. Support@flx.bike. Pedro, good little tip. If you guys are putting a bike together and you ever take the front wheel off and you have hydraulic disc brakes, do not squeeze those levers. When the bike's actually shipped to you, there will be little yellow wedges in between each of those calipers, and those are there so that if you accidentally do squeeze those levers, the brakes don't compress. So if you ever have a tire out or there's no rotor in those calipers, avoid squeezing your brakes. Thank you, Pedro. It's a good little tip. Gabriel asked, can you put a 3-speed derailleur on? No, the Babymaker is set up to be a single-speed bike. There's no room for a derailleur on the back. Now, if you do anything yourself, if you're a big DIY guy, you can probably make it happen. I don't want to say it's impossible, but right now where we're at, we never designed the bike to accept a external derailleur. So that's where we're at. You could probably jerry rig something if you wanted to, but right now my answer is going to be no, it won't accept it. All right, Evan, what's going on, man? Saw you here. Just want to tell you specifically from all of us here at FLX, you're crushing it, man. Thank you so much for your help. If those of you watching don't know, Evan Teed has been helping monitor and answer questions in the Babymaker owners group. He is without a doubt the most knowledgeable person on these bikes other than the employees here. So Evan, huge shout out, man. You're crushing it. We love you. So Jason, we're asking everyone to confirm their shipping address before we move that bike. If we don't hear a response, so first of all, the way we have it set up right now is signature for delivery. If you guys didn't know that, we don't want to leave any of these bikes on people's doorsteps, so we're asking our carriers to get signature confirmation. If you're not there when they come to deliver the bike, what they'll do is they'll leave a little sticky receipt type thing on your door. And what you can then do is sign for it, leave it pasted on your door for when they come back. Then they'll leave that package. But that is how delivery is going to work. And we're going to ask you to confirm that your address is correct before we send you that bike. Many of those people who have already received theirs have spoken with our supply chain logistics manager, Caitlin. She's the one reaching out to you guys. Excuse me, asking to confirm that information. Customs questions. So, if you live in anywhere in Europe or that region, your bike will be coming from Spain. If you live in Canada, New Zealand, Australia, your bike will be coming from our Shanghai factory. So as far as that and customs go, you just need to look up what the import tax would be for electrical bikes coming from that region. If you're interested in figuring out what it is, it depends on region, so I can't give you an exact answer. You're gonna need to look up your own specific country. Thomas is asking, with the startup of a third production site, could we see improvements in delivery dates? Yes, absolutely. While I cannot confirm or deny, that we're getting more production set up. Again, our main focus here is get you these bikes as soon as we can. So we are looking at other avenues to see how we can make this process go quicker. Right now, we have nothing definitive, but just because your date moves back now doesn't mean it can't move forward later on. we want to get bikes out and we want to be transparent. So as we said in the beginning, everything we have is estimated. We're doing our best to be as accurate as possible. But you guys know this has been 2020, right? Anything that can go, it seems like Murphy's year right now. You know, Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So there has been some things where we've had to bounce back, make some changes as far as production. But really, we've been pretty honed in on this timeline. Some stuff has been shifted back. But again, we're doing our best to be as adaptive as possible and get these bikes out. So I'm actually really proud. I'm just gonna say I'm actually really proud of the team here and being so adaptive, like I said, to what's been coming down the pipeline. It hasn't been super easy. So, you know, we said we'd start shipping in September. We did, which I'm so proud of. Are we a little behind right now? Yes, but like I said, number one focus, get you guys riding. Oh, I lost my spot again. Let me see if I can find out exactly where I was. Any plans on a USA factory? Like I said, guys, we're looking all around. We want to get you these bikes as soon as possible. So Andy, a good point here. There's Andy says we should post out an email. We are going to do something just like that, as well as get it up on our site. The Facebook forum has a lot of stuff going on, guys. And while a majority of that information is extremely accurate, to get the most up to date and to confirm what you're seeing, check flx.bike first. That is going to be the information that is not only most current, but most accurate as well. Some things can get mixed up, so check with us first. Please move. Richard is asking about bikes delivered to Florida. Yeah, all around the U.S. They're being shipped out. Again, once you receive that address confirmation from Kaylin, it means, you know, you're on deck. You're about to be batters up and have your bike. How many bikes are going to come from the Spain factory? Without diving too deep into it, several thousand. We got a whole bunch of Babymakers coming out, guys. So again, your patience is truly appreciated. Gabriel Gonzalez asks, if I run out of battery, is it hard to go to 20 miles per hour? If you're on flat ground, it's actually not. The gearing ratio of the Babymaker is 64-22. Now, most people don't know what that means. I didn't even know what it means when I first got here, but here's my oversimplified answer. 64-22 on a single speed means your sweet spot, the spot where your cadence is not overly fast, but comfortable. The bike will be moving about 20 miles an hour. That's the sweet spot. So because it's a fixed gear, getting started may be a little difficult. And to go like 30, 35 miles an hour, you're going to have to be pedaling real fast. That sweet spot, though, is right at 20. So if you do run out of battery, or you just opt to put the bike in pedal assist 0 so that you're doing all the work, that sweet spot is going to be right around that 15 to 20 mile an hour range. So it should not be hard to pedal that speed with no battery. Mark says, please keep quality up. Do not rush. Yes, I know I've said we are going to get these bikes out as quickly as possible, with the caveat that we give everyone a bike that they expect. So the one thing we won't do to get these bikes out sooner is cut corners. And as you can see, that's something we've already done. We've said you know, for certain things like the LCD in and of itself, we weren't gonna push shipping back 2 months just for that little part. The same thing comes at, you know, if we can do some things quicker, but the quality is gonna suffer, we're not. All right, you guys paid money, and more importantly, put your trust in us. So while we work to get these bikes out as efficiently as possible, we won't do so by getting cheaper parts or cutting any corners. So just wanted to make sure I bring that up, Mark. Thank you for asking. So Claude asks, any extras right now that you got besides the bike will be shipping separately. So that includes right now the extra charger if you purchased one. One comes with a bike, so you'll be able to use it, but if you order an extra, it will be shipping separately. If you ordered the touring package, it will be shipped separately. And if you ordered the t-shirt, it will be shipped separately. And finally, the extra battery will be shipped separately. Again, doing everything we can to get bikes out and people riding, number one priority. Then we're gonna bring our focus back and get you guys all the accessories, you know, touring packages, charger, and that sort of thing. So what's going on with this place? We have had some reports with issues on the displays. That was it looks like to be a packaging issue. We've since gone back to the factory. Know this, guys, anything you're posting in regards to, you know, malfunctions or any issues you may have, not only do we monitor the owners group, but, you know, anytime you submit us a ticket, we catalog everything. And we then go back to the factory and say, hey, X, Y, and Z happened. You know, what are we going to do to fix this? And how do we ensure that it doesn't happen from here forward? So sort of like the design process, taking the bike from prototype to production, we now have a fine-tooth comb going through every production bike, and any little blemish, anything you see that is incorrect or that we have to warranty, not only do we take care of you, but we go back to the factory and we sit down with them and we say, how did this happen, right? And how can we ensure that it doesn't happen moving forward? So this is an evolving process, guys. Over 10,000 bikes to fulfill, right? There may be an issue here or there, but no, we want to deliver a bike. So if you have something that's wrong, email us immediately, support@flx.bike. We'll not only do everything we can to get you up and riding as quickly as possible, but know that we catalog this to make sure that it doesn't happen to any other riders. So the LCD display for the Spain side of things, I don't actually have an answer for that, so I can't comment on that right now. Roughly, how many Babymakers go into Canada? I think a couple hundred. I don't have an explicit number, but Canada, outside of US and EU, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and Japan were the other top fours if you don't consider US and EU countries. So we have a lot of bikes going there to all those locations. So we are working on getting you your bike too. Don't worry, you have not been forgotten, guys. We're getting towards the end of this live. My voice is getting to the end of its range, so probably another 5 minutes before I wrap things up here, guys. So UK bikes, those are the bikes being being made in our Spain factory. That means that those bikes are partially completed. We're not building the frames from scrap like we would the Shanghai factory, but there is still assembly needed for those. The warranty date starts, guys. I want to be sure you all hear this. Your warranty starts when you receive your bike. All right, we're not gonna pull a fast one and just start the clock now and make you wait 3 months. No. Your warranty, the clock starts ticking on when you finally receive it. We wouldn't do that to you, so just know the start date of your warranty begins when you see that brand new box on your doorstep. Krishna, I'm not sure about Indonesia orders. I know we don't have a whole lot there. If you have a specific question, email us at support@flx.bike, support@flx.bike with your order number and that sort of thing for us to look into. We'll be able to check you out on that. All right, guys, I'm going to answer 2 more questions, then I'm going to circle back here to those major updates that I covered in the very beginning. That will conclude our live. Give me a second. All right. So, Gabriel, you asked your 5'6", what frame size? Definitely the smaller 19-inch frame. 5'6", 5'7", 5'9". If you're not a super experienced rider, I'd recommend going down a size. The reason for that is that on a smaller bike, you can always raise the seat post. You can get an extended stem to have your reach out further and higher. So if you're right on that border, go for the smaller bike because you can always make it larger. What you can't do is if you're right on the border and you opt to get that bigger frame, it's not going to get any smaller. So definitely, if you're right on that border, especially for you being 5'6", the 19-inch frame is the way to go. Blade deliveries, I actually don't have anything on that. I'll work with Caitlin. I know you guys have been waiting on that, so that's an update I want to get out, something non-Babymaker related. So I'll look into that for you. Bangladesh orders, I'm not sure. Gotta look at that, as well as Indonesia. But that concludes the questions. I'm going to circle back again to the major updates we have here. And that will conclude our live, probably right on the 1 hour point. So, not a bad Tuesday at all, guys. First update I touched on was our Spain factory. If you guys have been listening, you know we had a couple containers that were sort of just hanging out in customs. We got the notification a few days ago that they're finally about to clear, which means we hope to have production started. That means bikes being assembled in Spain within the next 3 weeks. As I said, stay tuned. We're going to try and post updates on that. But that is good news for those of you waiting in the EU for a bike. Spain factory, those wheels have started turning forward, and we're working to gain a little momentum there. Like I said, 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be able to give you a more accurate update. But finally, some progress. I know you guys have been waiting, so thank you so much for your patience. We'll continue to keep you updated as things progress. Update number 2, the LCDs. If you saw on their Indiegogo campaign, an upgraded LCD was one of the stretch goals. Now, we also said that when we were making these bikes, if anything affects production or will delay it, we may opt to skip it. That's what ended up happening with those LCDs. So about the first 2,000 bikes may not be upgraded as far as form factor, but what we made sure to do is that regardless of what LCD you have on your bike, the firmware, which lets you go 28 miles per hour and do all that fun stuff, is upgraded. So the only thing on those LCDs that differs on those first 2,000 is going to be the button location. So form factor, the only difference, guys. One's not better than the other or anything like that. Now, before you start asking, I don't know, we're going to try and get as many of these bikes out as possible in the future. Will we have an option for those upgraded LCDs if you want? We can't give you anything definitive right now because that's so far in advance. But we will keep it on the back burner. We want to be as transparent as possible. So LCD update number 2. One sec. All right. Good news for those of you on silver bikes. Update number 3 here. If you got a touring package and you're on a silver bike, while the fenders are going to be black, we were able to get a silver cargo rack to match your frame. Actually took a lot of work, but like I said before, we really are trying to hook you guys up as best we can. It would be real easy for us to just say, no, black, it is black, sorry. And that's kind of what we did in the beginning, but we have a lot of irons in the fires, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in the back end that isn't seen and we can't really publish, but know that we are doing everything we can to deliver a fantastic, phenomenal bike, what you expected. Not what you expected, above what you expected. So that's one of those good little updates there, is that the silver bikes that are silver that are getting the touring package will have a silver cargo rack now. Which brings me to update number 4. We have since upgraded our customer service application that we use here. If you're someone that has recently submitted a support ticket within the last 2 or 3 days, you'll see that not only is the options menu so much cleaner and expedited, not only now can you search for your answers and get automated responses, but you can also reach out to us. Those emails are now categorized. If you have whereas before, if you had 3 emails threads, now they're all going to be merged. All your customer data will be organized in one cohesive unit, so that not only will we be able to find out all your information quickly, it's all grouped in one spot, so we can solve your problems as fast as possible. So big thing there. Customer service has been updated. Our ticket count has been dropping, and our response time is getting even shorter as well. So if you're someone who's reached out to us in the past using their old email, the updated one is now support@FLX, guys, support@FLX.bike for any specific questions or anything that I didn't cover here. The last and final update is the timeline. Right now, Indiegogo isn't exactly reflective of what is actually happening, and unfortunately, Indiegogo doesn't allow us to update all that much stuff. But we are working on a new timeline for bikes being shipped to the United States, right? Bikes that are scheduled to go out of the Spain factory, so our EU guys, right? We'll have a timeline for that. We'll have a timeline for Canada, New Zealand, Australia. So we're working on doing it by region. Again, the reason it hasn't been done right now is we're still working on getting the exact numbers. Our supply chain and logistics coordinator, Caitlin, has been working her tail off to get you guys accurate numbers. We just don't have those yet to post, so they will be coming very shortly, guys. Again, your patience is so much appreciated. We really are working as hard as we can here to get these bikes out as quickly as possible. So thank you so much for your time, guys. On this next one, I'm going to try and have Sarah here, and we may do it in the morning or even later. I'm not sure. But as always, thank you, guys. You're the reason we're here. You're the reason we do this. Your support means the world to us. We were a pretty small company a year ago, but because of you guys, we're able to provide such a cool looking bike. And we've learned so much along this process and are continuing to build our knowledge base every day. We're continuing to get better. We're continuing to get faster. And most of that is due to you guys, right? It's your feedback. It's your comments on these lives. It's your posts in the owner's page, the Babymaker's owner page. Those are the things that keep us going. Those are the things that keep us improving. So again, those of you waiting on your bike, your patience is so much appreciated. And those of you that have gotten your bikes and have posted, we want to say congratulations. We're so happy for you. As we continue to ship bikes out, you continue to receive yours. Feel free to post, write a comment, let everyone know you're on your Babymaker, that sort of thing. We love seeing you guys. You're the reason we're here. So again, thank you all so much. If I wasn't able to cover something, you didn't hear my response, or need more clarification, again, that new email, support@flx.bike. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. So again, guys, thank you so much. This is Ben from FLX Bike signing off. I will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.